Good morning, traders. I wanted to visit with you a little bit to see if this thing would be beneficial. I'm just going to try this thing out and see if you like it. If it helps you, I'll do it. I'll do some more of them. But a while back, I mentioned that we need to make these PowerPoints that show us a good trade setup, and that'll lock into our brain what a good trade setup looks like. And so, like on this one here, we have the push down, and then as we're trying to move down lower, we're making higher lows, and then we move through the through the breaker with a fair value gap, and then we came back down to the breaker, which also corresponded well with the fair value gap. Okay, so that's what a good trade setup looks like. So my idea for today was to try to do the same thing, but use a market replay so we can see this thing form in real time. And the one that I'm specifically talking about is this one right here. Friday morning, we opened, we traded down, we pushed down one more time. We did have some fair value gaps come up here, but when we tried to come back down again, we made a higher low there. And then we moved through the breaker with a fair value gap. We never did come back down and touch the top of the breaker, which I have not been seeing all week. We respected the fair value gap. So ideally, we would want to enter one tick above the high of this fair value gap. And you could just put a limit order in once we start coming up in this area. Okay. Once we push there, we got our fair value gap. We're above our breaker. You can put a limit order in right there. You may lose, but that works out. You're trading your plan. That's good. It's okay to lose one time trading your plan. If we're ranging, you'll find out real quick. So I'm going to try it on this replay. One thing I do want to point out is we opened with a gap in this situation. I don't know what that's doing there. Now that's my breaker. Okay, so we opened with a gap up, and we didn't fill it. We only filled it to 25%, and then up above we have a draw from on the daily chart of a fair value gap right here. So this is our target because we didn't fill the gap. Let's go back to the 1 minute, and we'll zoom in, and we'll see what's going on here. So here we have a lower low, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower low, and then here we've pushed down. We've moved away from the low with a fair value gap. We've pushed down 1, 2, 3, 4 times trying to go lower, and we haven't gone lower yet. We do have this fair value gap here, but until its candle bodies start closing above this breaker, we don't want to take that trade. We need to see a lower low, and then we need to start taking out some of this before we'll be convinced that we're having a move to the upside. And we've got to get above that breaker. Candle bodies have to start closing above it. So we'll see. And I want you to see it form in real time, and so I'm playing at 100% speed. When you get good at spotting these, you'll find that you can get into these trades with very, very little drawdown, which allowed you to put on a little bit more size. Like say if I did 4 micros or 5 micros. 4 micros with a 25-point stop loss is $200. That's a little bit high for a 50K combine, in my opinion. So 2 would be a $100 stop loss. That'd be about what I'm comfortable with. Okay, so now we've come down. We've made a higher low. We just pushed away from the breaker, and we're forming a fair value gap. Getting close to taking out those highs. We could be ranging, or it could just come straight back down here to the bottom at this point. But I like the fact that we are forming a fair value gap here. I apologize for the size of this chart. I like to be able to make it full screen, but that's as full as it gets. And so we have to have this ribbon up here for the trades to take place. So this fair value gap is our point of interest. I've been seeing it do this all week, and I've been demanding it come all the way to the breaker, and it hasn't been doing that this week. Last week it did. This week it hasn't been. But what ICT recommended in one of his videos is that you enter one tick above the base of this fair value gap. So the base is 104.50. We're going to go to 104.75. And we're going to buy to right there, 104.75. You could throw the kitchen sink at this thing and buy a large contract if you wanted to. But when you do that, at a 25-point stop loss keeps us below this fair value gap, which that's where you want your stop, below the candle that formed the fair value gap, at least that low. I've been telling you to go all the way below the breaker. And in this case, that would be a $200 stop loss on 2 micros. It would most likely keep you in the trade if it does decide to trade down to the breaker. So, but if it decides to go the other way, you're going to lose $200 on 2 micros. So you have to decide how much risk you want to put on there. There is also the option that if it does start pushing through the breaker, that we kill the trade, because that is most likely meaning that we're ranging. So our order just filled right there, and we know what happens next because we saw it on the deal already. But that would be an ideal entry there at this. You could also put it down here like I did and not get filled. So the breaker has not been revisited except for Monday. It's only been revisiting the fair value gap high in most of the trades I've seen this week. So consider that. Now, the fact that we only filled in 25% of the gap in the first 30 minutes, that's indicating bullish. And so where we would aim is that fair value gap up here. And it does take a long time to get there, and I'm not going to let the video run all that time. But just look at these dollar totals on 2 micros. So we got in at 104.03. We're going to be coming out at 206. You could also aim all the way to the center point. You could take one off here and then another one off there if you wanted to. But at 206 on 2 micros, that's 100 points. That's $400 on 2 micros. So micros make money and control your risk. You can really do some amazing things with them. $400, some people are like, that's nothing. To me, it's something, because I don't go to work and make $400 in a day. But if I can sit here and make $400 in an hour, that's lawyer pay. That's doctor pay. So don't sneeze at these micros and the small dollar amounts. You're not going to make $10,000 off of them in a day, but you could make $10,000 off of them in a month or a week. You know, I've had some micro trades work out to $1,500 in a day. So that is essentially what would happen there. You'd be at a $400 profit. And I hope that helps. Y'all have to let me know in the comments if it actually benefits you to see it form in real time. The more we see a good trade setup form, the more it'll lock into our brain that we're not going to take any trades unless we see that setup. And they happen every single day. The only time you're not going to see them is on a directional day. And you're probably going to lose a couple of trades trying to catch a reversal pattern. But directional days are difficult for most traders, because what we work with is reversal patterns, and there's no reversal. You could try a reversal at some point and then If it fails, go long. That'd be your 2 trades for the day. If the long fails, lock yourself out. You're done for the day. If you're using a small stop loss like $100, well, you lost $200 that day. Try again tomorrow. Maybe you'll get a reversal pattern and see something like this. But that's the whole purpose of this video, is so you can look at this setting up in real time rather than just a still photo. So y'all let me know if it was beneficial. I can do more of them. They're going to be cherry picked, but that's the point. We want to see these things form in real time. It's just a little bit better representation than what you see on a PowerPoint, essentially. But don't discount the PowerPoints. If you run through one of these every morning and you start looking at all of your trade setups, locking in your brain, okay, we got a higher low, a fair value gap, respecting the fair value gap and the breaker, go long. Okay, we have an exhaustion wick. We have a breaker. We push through with a fair value gap. We come back up. We respect the breaker. We pull away with a fair value gap. We go short. If you keep looking at those each day, you're going to start recognizing them in real time. And playing the market replays also will help you recognize them in real time. This one's a little more interesting. We got the breaker. You could enter here, or you could wait for this fair value gap and enter at the low end of it. This one would have filled you, and then we fell straight out of bed. And this was also a gap down that didn't even fill to the 25% mark. So different scenarios. Here we go. Higher low, fair value gap to the upside. This one would have, it didn't really give you an opportunity to enter except at this fair value gap. So if you miss that one and you chase, you might get spanked, or you might make some money. But right here it was the good entry right here. Stop goes below. It doesn't always return to those breakers, and this week it didn't at all. But there is opportunities at the fair value gap. I was wanting to zoom in. There is opportunities at a fair value gap to enter, even here. But that's a hard one to get in on. And plus, that's a gigantic breaker. It looks like it anyway. And this one we opened with a gap up. That's the first presentation fair value gap. We wick into it. This is our last up close before that run. We push through. We come back to it. We're adios paya. They don't all look the same. This one, we took the low. We made out a slightly higher low. We push through here. Fair value gap. We come back down. Adios paya. So I need to stop, so this isn't a 30-minute video, but you get the idea. The PowerPoint helps, and I'm hoping the market replay will help as well. Remember to be kind to yourself. Be kind to one another. I love each and every one of you. If you have any questions at all, feel free to put them in the comments. I'm just here to teach and help you get better, help myself get better as well. And I don't charge any money. If somebody pretends to be me and wants to charge you money for this, no, I don't charge. Never will. It's strictly to make myself better and to share that gift with other people. Hopefully it'll make you better as well. So, yeah. Till next time, trade well.